Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen a plane flying by? It might look small from where you stand, just a tiny speck gliding across the clouds, but up close, it's a marvel of engineering and human achievement. Every day, thousands of these incredible machines soar above us, connecting people and places all around the globe. That tiny dot is actually a huge machine carrying people, mail, and even food. Inside, passengers settle into their seats, pilots check their controls, and crews work together to make sure everything runs smoothly. Airplanes are like flying cities, bustling with activity and purpose. Aircraft help us travel fast, connect countries, and bring families together. They make it possible for friends to reunite, for business partners to meet face-to-face, and for cultures to share ideas and traditions. In just a few hours, you can cross continents and oceans, something that was once only a dream. Without them, a trip from Africa to America would take weeks by boat. Imagine spending days or even months at sea compared to a single day in the air. Airplanes have truly shrunk our world, making distant places feel much closer and more accessible. Planes also help in emergencies. They bring doctors to far places and food to people in need. When disaster strikes, airplanes can deliver life-saving supplies and rescue teams faster than any other way. They're a lifeline for remote communities and a symbol of hope during tough times. Airports are like big gates that let us explore the world. They are bustling hubs where journeys begin and end, filled with excitement, anticipation, and sometimes a few happy tears. Every ticket is a doorway to adventure, learning, and new experiences. Imagine, one plane can take you from a sunny beach in Kenya to the snowy mountains of Switzerland. In a single day, you can experience different climates, cultures, and landscapes, all thanks to the power of flight. The world is truly at your fingertips. But have you ever wondered how these amazing machines are made? It is not magic, it is hard work and smart ideas. Teams of engineers, designers, and skilled workers come together to turn imagination into reality, using science, technology, and creativity. Making an aircraft is a big job that takes many steps. Each step is important, just like each piece of a big puzzle. From designing the shape to testing every bolt and wire, every detail matters to make sure the plane is safe and ready to fly. Are you ready to go on a factory tour and see how planes are built? Buckle your seatbelt, and let's get started. Together we'll discover the secrets behind these flying wonders and meet the people who make it all possible. The journey is about to take off. Every plane starts with an idea. Before a single part is built, before any metal is shaped or any engine is started, someone has to imagine what the plane will be. It all begins with a spark of creativity, a vision of something that can soar through the sky. Engineers and designers gather together and ask themselves, what kind of plane do we need? Is it for carrying people across continents, delivering packages quickly, or maybe for exploring new places? They think about the purpose of the plane, and that shapes every decision they make. They ask important questions. How many people will it carry? Will it be a small plane for just a few passengers, or a giant jet for hundreds? How far will it fly? Should it cross oceans, or just travel between nearby cities? These questions help them decide on the size, shape, and features of the new aircraft. To turn their ideas into reality, they use powerful computers to draw detailed pictures of the new aircraft. These digital drawings are called blueprints. A blueprint is like a map for building, showing every part and how it fits together. It helps everyone understand exactly what the finished plane will look like and how it will work. But pictures aren't enough. Designers also make small models out of plastic, foam, or even wood. These models are like mini planes, and they help the team see how the real plane might behave. By holding and examining these models, engineers can spot problems and make improvements before building the full-sized aircraft. Sometimes, they put these models in a wind tunnel, a huge tube that blows air at high speeds. This lets them watch how air moves around the plane's shape. If the air flows smoothly, the plane will fly better and use less fuel. If not, they can change the design until it's just right. Have you ever noticed that planes are shaped a lot like birds? That's no accident. Birds are nature's best flyers, and engineers have studied them for years. By looking at the way birds' wings curve and how their bodies are shaped, designers learn how to make planes that are fast, stable, and safe in the air. Fun fact, did you know the very first airplanes were built after inventors spent hours watching birds? They took notes on how birds flap their wings, glide, and turn. Those early experiments helped shape the planes we see today. Have you ever tried drawing your own airplane? What would it look like? Would it have long, graceful wings like an eagle, or short, sturdy wings like a sparrow? Maybe you'd add extra engines or bright colors. Imagination is the first step in designing something new. Before a real plane is ever built, designers must think about every single detail, from the tiniest bolt to the largest wing. Every choice matters, because it all adds up to a machine that can safely and efficiently take to the skies. That's the big idea behind designing an aircraft, turning dreams and careful planning into something that really flies. After the design is ready, the next big step in building an airplane is selecting the right materials. This is a crucial part of the process, because the materials chosen will determine how safe, efficient, and long-lasting the airplane will be. Engineers carefully examine and compare different materials, looking for the perfect balance between strength, weight, and durability. They know that every part of the plane, from the wings to the smallest bolt, needs to be made from something that can handle the stresses of flight. Planes must be strong enough to withstand powerful forces, like wind and turbulence, but also light enough to lift off the ground and soar through the sky. This is a tricky balance to achieve. If the plane is too heavy, it will struggle to get off the ground, use more fuel, and be less efficient. On the other hand, if it's too light and not strong enough, it could be unsafe. That's why most airplanes are built using special metals like aluminum and titanium. Aluminum is popular because it's lightweight and resists rust, while titanium is even stronger and can handle high temperatures. In recent years, engineers have started using advanced materials called composites. These are strong plastics mixed with fibers, making them both tough and light. Before any material is used, engineers put it through tough tests. They bend, stretch, and stress the samples to make sure they can handle the real-life conditions of flight. To understand why material choice matters, imagine you're building a paper airplane at home. If you use heavy cardboard, your plane will be too heavy and won't fly very far, no matter how hard you throw it. But if you use thin, lightweight paper, your plane will glide smoothly and travel much farther. The same principle applies to real airplanes, just with much more advanced materials. Airplane manufacturers are always searching for new materials that are even lighter and stronger. Sometimes, they even invent brand new materials just for use in aircraft. Scientists and engineers work in labs, experimenting with different combinations and testing new ideas. Their goal is to make planes safer, faster, and more efficient. One of the most exciting materials used today is carbon fiber. It's incredibly light, yet much stronger than many metals. Carbon fiber is now used in the wings, fuselage, and other parts of modern airplanes. Thanks to carbon fiber and other advanced materials, new airplanes are lighter, use less fuel, and can even help reduce pollution. By choosing better materials, engineers help airplanes fly farther on less fuel, which is good for both travelers and the environment. You can try this at home too. Look around your house for objects that are both light and strong. Maybe you'll find a plastic bottle that's easy to lift but hard to crush, or a metal spoon that's sturdy but not too heavy. Picking the right materials is just like choosing the best tools for a job. It's a decision that can make all the difference in how well something works. For airplanes, it's one of the most important choices of all. Now, it's time to build the parts. Big factories make wings, tails, engines, and more. Each part is made in a special way. Some are made with huge machines that cut and shape metal. Others are made by hand, with workers checking every detail. Think of an aircraft like a giant puzzle. There are thousands of pieces. Even the smallest screw is important. If one part is missing, the plane cannot fly. Factories are noisy and busy. Machines stamp, weld, and paint the parts. Workers wear safety gear, like helmets and gloves. Did you know the engine of a big jet is as heavy as a small car, and the wings are longer than a bus? Some factories can build hundreds of plane parts each week. It takes many people working together to do this. Have you ever built a model or a Lego set? Building an aircraft is like that, but much bigger. Every piece must fit just right. Once all the parts are ready, it's time for assembly. This means putting everything together. Workers use big cranes to lift heavy parts, like the wings and body, into place. They bolt and weld the pieces so they stay strong in the air. The inside of the plane is built too. Seats, lights, bathrooms, and the pilot's cockpit are all added. Wires and pipes go inside the walls, just like in a house. Everything must be neat and safe. Workers check their work many times. The assembly area is very clean. Even a tiny piece of dirt can cause problems in an engine. Workers wear special clothes to keep the plane clean. This part of the factory looks like a giant garage for planes. How long do you think it takes to build one airplane? For a big passenger plane, it can take many months from start to finish, but when it is done, it looks amazing, shiny, new, and ready to fly. Before a new plane can fly, it must be tested many times. Safety is the most important thing. Engineers check every part to make sure it works. They test the engines, brakes, and lights. Computers check if all the controls work well. Planes are tested on the ground first. They roll down the runway to see if the wheels and brakes are strong. Some tests are very tough. For example, the wings are bent up and down to make sure they will not break in strong wind. After ground tests, pilots take the new plane for a test flight. This flight is special. The pilots try all the buttons and make sure the plane flies straight and smooth. If something is wrong, the plane goes back for fixing. Did you know that some planes are tested in rain and even fake lightning? This way, they know the plane is safe in any weather. Would you like to be a test pilot one day? Once the plane passes all tests, it is ready for delivery. The airline company comes to see their new plane. Sometimes they even have a small party to celebrate. The plane gets painted with the airline's colors and logo. Before the plane leaves the factory, workers do one last check. They clean the inside and outside so it looks perfect. The plane is filled with fuel and important papers are given to the airline. Some planes fly to their new home while others are taken apart and sent on ships, if they are too big. When the plane arrives, new pilots and crew learn how to use it. Soon, passengers will climb on board for the first flight. Have you ever watched a plane land at your local airport? Maybe it was just built. Next time you see a new plane, remember all the work that went into making it. Africa is becoming more important in the world of aviation. Many African countries have their own airlines, like Ethiopian Airlines and Kenya Airways. These companies buy new planes and help people travel across Africa and around the world. Some parts for planes are now made in Africa. For example, in South Africa, factories make seats and other parts for big aircraft. African engineers and pilots are training to build and fly the planes of tomorrow. Did you know that Africa has some of the world's longest flights? Planes connect cities like Johannesburg, Lagos, and Cairo to Europe, Asia, and America. This helps trade, tourism, and friendships grow. Which African city would you like to fly to? Maybe one day, you will help build or fly an airplane made in Africa. Making aircraft is always changing. New planes are being built with better materials and greener engines. Some future planes will use electricity instead of fuel to help the Earth. Engineers are also working on planes that fly even faster and higher. In the future, Africa may build even more parts and maybe whole planes. Young people like you can learn about science and engineering to join this exciting world. Maybe one day, you will design a new type of aircraft that connects even more people. Let's remember, airplanes bring the world closer together. Making them takes smart ideas, teamwork, and hard work. The next time you fly, think about all the people who helped build your plane. What do you think the planes of the future will look like? Will they be faster or quieter? The sky is